This is the biggest facelift that the current Nissan GT-R has had and getting on for 9 years on sale. Some extra turbo boost gives the car an extra 20 horsepower, there's an improved gearbox, an updated underbody and suspension, and a much refined interior. The interesting thing is that there are no official performance figures on the car. Nissan has entered into a rather odd gentleman's agreement with its fellow Japanese manufacturers, which prevents it from making official 0 to 60 mph acceleration claims on its performance cars, which seems a bit of an oversight with the GT-R. So for the last car there were figures banded about which definitely raised an eyebrow or two. People talked about 2.8 seconds to 62 mph. I've never seen a Nissan GT-R go under 3.2 or 3.3 seconds to 60 mph. We'll stop here for a moment and let you in on the awful truth. Not that it's particularly awful. Yesterday on the back straight at Spa, where we were given the opportunity to test this car in what was a pretty epic few hours, I attached this satellite data logger. Other brands are available, I'm sure. And I produced the following numbers. Now, unfortunately, the figures on my phone don't show up very well on camera, but what the data says is 3.3 seconds to 60 mph and 7.6 seconds to 100. Which is pretty fast, isn't it? But is it fast enough that this car can be considered a giant killer anymore, in the sense that it once was? I'm not sure it is. The Audi R8s and Porsche 911 turbos and McLarens and Ferraris of this world are now a shade faster than that. They're all 3-second cars to 60, they're all sub 7-second cars to 100. So I'm going to try and give you an idea of exactly how fast this GT-R feels on the road. We're on a de-restricted stretch of German Autobahn now. Those of you with stopwatches, you want to time this. Okay, things are ready. 3, 2, 1, go. That's 100 now. 160 kilometers an hour. And for those of you who want to go all the way to 200, oh, we've gone past it. It's difficult to keep up, trust me. So you can tell it doesn't mess about this car, it is fast with a capital F. My question is whether it's quite as fast today relative to the supercar set as it was 7 or 8 years ago when this car really made its reputation. Back then you knew you could buy a GT-R and that it would be fast enough to outpace stuff that cost twice as much. Ferrari F430s, Lamborghini Gallardos, almost anything. Now of course we've got a Ferrari 488 GTB that does 3 seconds flat to 60 mph and goes under 6 seconds to 100. That's faster to 100 mph than a McLaren F1. And in that context, I don't think the GT-R can really be considered the same sort of giant killer that it once was. It's a ridiculous thing to suggest because you've just seen by your own eyes how fast this car is. Unless I think that's what I'm suggesting. The Giants have upped their game a bit, and that's bad news for Nissan. This thing, of course, is still just about the fastest car that you might spend £80,000 on, and that's the point, really. It's a lot faster than a turbocharged 911 Carrera. It's faster than an Amg Gt, which is another 20 or 30 grand on the top. And you know what? It's actually all round a more appealing thing to me than it ever was. You know, 8 years ago the car was up against naturally aspirated supercars that had quite a lot more character about them, whereas now everything comes with a turbocharger, and this thing has developed this old school character which is quite appealing. So you might buy one whether you want the fastest car that your money can buy or not, really. Either way, I think you probably care how fast your GT-R really is. And now you know whether Nissan wants you to or not. To watch a video outlining the full details of the 2017 model year GT-R, click on the video at the top of the screen.